Welcome to this session where we'll be looking at barriers to advocacy. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify and categorize key barriers that hinder advocacy efforts in Africa. Advocacy is a powerful tool for driving social, political, and economic change, but it often faces significant barriers that can hinder its effectiveness. These barriers can be structural, cultural, resource-related, or personal. Understanding these challenges is crucial for developing strategies to overcome them. Structural barriers, political resistance. This goes beyond simple opposition. Governments may use force, like arrest or intimidation, to silence dissent or restrict the activities of civil society organizations. Governments may try to infiltrate or manipulate social movements, diverting their energy or undermining their effectiveness. Politicians may publicly denigrate or discredit advocacy groups, making it harder for them to build public support or gain legitimacy. Impact: political resistance can severely limit the ability of advocacy groups to operate effectively. It can erode public trust in both the government and the advocacy movement itself. Fear of reprisal can lead to self-censorship within civil society, stifling critical voices and hindering the development of a vibrant public sphere. Legal and regulatory constraints. These often subtle but significant barriers. Laws may limit the ability of NGOs to receive foreign funding, restrict freedom of assembly, or criminalize certain forms of protest. Complex registration procedures and burdensome reporting requirements can create significant obstacles for NGOs and other advocacy groups. Advocates may lack legal protection from harassment, intimidation, or violence. Impact: restrictive laws can severely limit freedom of expression and the ability of citizens to engage in public discourse. Navigating complex legal and regulatory frameworks can be costly and time-consuming, diverting resources away from core advocacy activities. These constraints can create a climate of fear and discouragement, deterring individuals from engaging in civic action. Bureaucratic hurdles. These are often less visible but equally important. Government bureaucracies can be slow and inefficient, making it difficult for citizens and NGOs to access information, obtain permits, or engage with government officials. Lack of transparency in government decision-making process can make it difficult for citizens to understand how decisions are made and to participate meaningfully in the process. Government agencies may be reluctant to share information with the public, hindering the ability of citizens and NGOs to conduct research and develop effective advocacy strategies. Impact: bureaucratic hurdles can be frustrating and demoralizing for citizens and NGOs, leading to disengagement and disillusionment with the political process. Time and resources spent navigating bureaucratic obstacles could be better used for core advocacy activities. Bureaucratic hurdles can make it difficult for ordinary citizens to participate meaningfully in the political process. Looking back at the example of the lack of water in your rural community, when the community petitions local authorities to address the water crisis, political leaders may perceive the movement as a threat. Officials might intimidate outspoken advocates through police harassment, discredit community leaders by labeling them as troublemakers, undermining the movement by creating rival community organizations loyal to the political elite. Fear of political retaliation causes some residents to withdraw from the movement. The momentum slows and external supporters hesitate to get involved. Resource barriers. Lack of funding. Advocacy work is often resource-intensive, requiring funds for various activities. Gathering information, conducting surveys, and analyzing data to inform advocacy strategies. Organizing protests, public awareness campaigns, and community outreach programs. Covering legal fees, office expenses, and staff salaries. Maintaining websites, social media campaigns, and other communication channels. Impact: lack of funding can severely limit the scope and scale of advocacy efforts. Over-reliance on external funding can make advocacy efforts vulnerable to fluctuations in donor support. Insufficient funding can hinder the ability to conduct effective research, implement impactful campaigns, and reach target audiences. Limited human resources. Advocacy work requires a diverse range of skills, including gathering and analyzing data, conducting policy research, developing and implementing communication strategies, building relationships with media and stakeholders, planning and executing campaigns, mobilizing volunteers, and coordinating with partners, securing funding, managing finances, and ensuring the smooth operation of the organization. Impact: limited human resources can significantly reduce the capacity of advocacy organizations to plan and execute effective campaigns. High staff turnover can disrupt operations and lead to a loss of institutional knowledge. Lack of skilled personnel can hinder the ability of effectively research issues, develop compelling messages, and build strong relationships with stakeholders. Inadequate tools and technology. Access to technology and digital tools is crucial for modern advocacy. Utilizing social media, email, and online platforms for communication and mobilization. Using software and databases to track progress, analyze data, and inform decision-making. Accessing online resources, conducting online research, and sharing information with stakeholders. Lack of access to technology can limit the ability of advocacy organizations to reach their target audience and build a strong online presence. Insufficient use of technology can hinder productivity and slow down campaign operations. Lack of access to data analysis tools can hinder the ability to effectively track progress, evaluate the impact of campaigns, and track data-driven decisions. Circling back to the water issue in your community, the community has no money for water testing kits, public awareness campaigns, or hiring legal or technical experts to support their case. Few community members have experience in advocacy, and no one knows how to write policy briefs. This might lead to less strategic and impactful campaigns, leading to frustration and exhaustion. Cultural and social barriers. Public apathy or misinformation. Apathy. This refers to a lack of interest, concern, or engagement in a particular issue. People may be simply unaware of the issue, or they may not see it as relevant to their own lives. Misinformation. The spread of false or misleading information can create confusion, distort public opinion, and undermine advocacy efforts. This can be fueled by various factors, including the rapid spread of misinformation through social media platforms can quickly create and amplify public distrust. Politicians and other powerful actors may deliberately spread misinformation to undermine public support for certain policies or initiatives. Many people lack the critical thinking skills to evaluate information and distinguish between fact and fiction. Impact: public apathy and misinformation can make it difficult to mobilize public support for advocacy campaigns. The spread of misinformation can erode public trust in institutions and undermine the credibility of advocacy organizations. A lack of public support can make it difficult to persuade policymakers to adopt and implement necessary reforms. Stigma and discrimination. Advocacy work often involves challenging deeply ingrained social norms and addressing issues of inequality and discrimination. This can lead to strong resistance from those who benefit from the status quo or who hold prejudiced beliefs. Impact: stigma and discrimination can create strong resistance to social change and make it difficult to challenge the status quo. Advocates working on sensitive issues may face personal risks, including harassment, intimidation, and even violence. The fear of stigma and discrimination can discourage individuals from speaking out or participating in advocacy efforts. Cultural norms and traditions. Deeply ingrained cultural norms and traditions can act as powerful barriers to social change. These norms can shape attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, making it difficult to challenge the status quo. Cultural norms and traditions can limit the ability of societies to adapt and progress. These norms can perpetuate existing inequalities and injustices. Challenging deeply ingrained cultural norms can be difficult and may face strong oppositions from within the community. In the case of the water issue, some community members say, "Water has always been like this. We are used to it." Others fall for rumors spread by political actors who claim that the water crisis is an exaggeration or the opposition's plan to make the government look bad. In other cases, advocates may be branded as troublemakers who are stirring unrest or people disrespecting elders by questioning leadership. These divided opinions weaken collective action and reduce turnout for protests or petitions. Additionally, the key community members may become isolated and reluctant to continue pushing for change. Organizational barriers. Lack of coordination. Advocacy work often requires collaboration among multiple actors, including NGOs, community groups, and individual activists. Lack of coordination among these groups can significantly hinder the effectiveness of advocacy efforts. This can manifest in various ways. Different groups may be working on similar issues without coordinating their activities, leading to wasted resources and a fragmented response. Different groups may pursue conflicting strategies, creating confusion and undermining the overall impact of the advocacy effort. Competition for limited resources, such as funding and media attention, can create tension and hinder collaboration. Impact: lack of coordination can significantly weaken the collective impact of advocacy efforts. Duplication of efforts can lead to wasted resources and inefficient use of limited funds. Competition for resources and conflicting strategies can create tensions and conflicts among advocacy groups. Internal conflicts. Even within a single organization, internal conflicts can hinder advocacy efforts. These conflicts can arise from various sources: disagreements among staff or board members regarding the organization's priorities and strategic direction. Conflicts among leaders or between staff and leadership can create a toxic work environment and undermine morale. Competition for power and influence within the organization can divert attention from advocacy goals and create internal divisions. Impact: internal conflicts can divert energy and resources away from core advocacy activities, reducing the organization's effectiveness. A toxic work environment can lead to low morale, burnout, and staff turnover, undermining the organization's capacity to function effectively. Internal conflicts can erode trust among staff members and between staff and leadership, hindering collaboration and communication. Limited capacity. Even well-intentioned advocacy organizations may face limitations in their capacity to effectively carry out their work. These limitations can include limited skills and knowledge in areas such as research, communication, fundraising, and legal advocacy. Lack of access to essential resources such as office space, technology, and communication equipment. Insufficient staff or volunteers to carry out all necessary activities. Impact: limited capacity can hinder the ability of advocacy organizations to effectively plan, implement, and evaluate their campaigns. Lack of expertise and resources can prevent organizations from taking advantage of new opportunities and adapting to changing circumstances. Overburdened staff and limited resources can lead to burnout and frustration among staff and volunteers. If different groups spring up to address the water issue in your village, one group focuses on digging wells, another lobbies for bottled water donations, and yet another demands government action. This would lead to efforts that are fragmented, confusing outsiders and weakening the overall case. If arguments arise over who should lead the movement or whether to negotiate quietly or protest loudly, meetings might turn into blame games instead of action planning. Personal barriers. Fear of reprisal. Advocacy work often involves challenging the status quo and confronting powerful interests. This can put advocates at risk of arrest, detention, or harassment by government officials for engaging in peaceful protest or criticizing government policies. Threats, intimidation, and even violence from individuals or groups who oppose the advocacy efforts. Loss of employment, social ostracism, or damage to reputation. Impact. Fear of reprisal can lead to self-censorship, discouraging individuals from speaking out on important issues. This can discourage individuals from engaging in advocacy work, limiting the diversity of voices and perspectives in the public sphere. A climate of fear and intimidation can erode fundamental freedoms such as freedom of speech, assembly, and association. Burnout and stress. Advocacy work can be emotionally and physically demanding, often involving working long hours, often with unpredictable schedules, dealing with opposition, facing personal risks, and experiencing the emotional toll of witnessing injustice. Working on issues such as violence, poverty, or environmental degradation can be emotionally taxing. Impact. Burnout can lead to decreased productivity, reduced effectiveness, and ultimately withdrawal from advocacy work. Burnout can have serious health consequences, including physical and mental health problems. Chronic stress can erode resilience and make it difficult for individuals to cope with the challenges of advocacy work. Lack of confidence or skills. Many individuals may feel unprepared or unqualified to engage in advocacy work. This can be due to limited understanding of the issue, the political process, or advocacy strategies. Fear of public speaking or interacting with decision makers. Lack of confidence in the ability to make a difference. Impact. Lack of confidence and skills can limit the participation of individuals in advocacy efforts, Individuals who lack the necessary skills may not be able to effectively communicate their message or engage with decision makers. Individuals may miss out on opportunities to make a difference and contribute to positive social change. External barriers, media bias or neglect. The media plays a crucial role in shaping public opinion and influencing public discourse. However, media coverage can be biased or neglectful, significantly impacting advocacy efforts. Grassroots movements, marginalized communities, and under-resourced organizations may struggle to gain media attention. Media outlets may favor powerful interests, present a biased perspective, or sensationalize issues for profit. The spread of false or misleading information through the media can undermine public trust and hinder advocacy efforts. Impact: lack of media coverage can limit public awareness of important issues and hinder the ability to mobilize public support. Biased reporting can distort public perception of issues and create a skewed understanding of reality. The spread of misinformation can erode public trust in the media and other institutions, making it harder to build consensus and mobilize action. Economic pressures. Economic factors can significantly impact the political and social landscape, influencing the priorities and resources available for advocacy efforts. During economic downturns, public attention and resources may shift towards addressing immediate economic concerns such as job losses and poverty, overshadowing other important issues. Economic development and growth are often prioritized over social and environmental concerns, leading to limited resources and political will to address these issues. Impact: economic pressures can lead to a reduction in funding for advocacy organizations and social programs. Economic concerns may overshadow other important social and environmental issues, making it harder to gain traction for advocacy efforts. The pursuit of short-term economic growth at the expense of social and environmental sustainability can have long-term negative consequences. Globalization and power imbalances. Globalization has created new challenges and opportunities for advocacy, but it has also exacerbated existing power imbalances. Powerful multinational corporations often have significant influence over policy decisions at the national and international levels. The priorities of international organizations may not always align with the needs and interests of local communities. The dependence of many developing countries on foreign aid can create a situation where donor priorities shape policy decisions, potentially marginalizing local voices. Impact: globalization and power imbalances can limit the ability of local communities and advocacy groups to influence policy decisions. The influence of external actors can undermine the sovereignty and authority of developing countries. Globalization can lead to an unequal distribution of benefits, with some communities and countries benefiting more than others. Now, let us look at the strategies to overcome barriers to advocacy.